Hello, we're live. This is what are the December 30th?
Yeah.
Last show of the year. 2024 is over, which doesn't feel real. Does it feel like 2024 was a real year? It feels like we're just going too high. It should still be like 23 at least.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a real year since maybe 2021. Maybe.
I think
Right?
2019 was the last real year.
Yeah. I think we're definitely in a post-COVID age.
COVID really.
But I don't think there's been much of a change in the culture since COVID, quote unquote, ended.
I think we've been in like a Fallout style cultural stagnation, but for like 2009 instead of like 1950 something.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's changed at all.
I don't think so either.
Except Jimmy Carter changed. Changed status. He's dead.
Update in status.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter status update. Change in status.
Yeah.
There's like lore. There's like Tim Heidecker lore as to why his account stopped. I don't know any of it.
Yeah, I'm not a big enough fan of On Cinema to know why he deleted his Twitter account.
It's so cool that Tim Heidecker has spent like a decade just like making really weird, bizarre commentary on society. And only he gets like 10 other people. And I just don't pay attention to it anymore because I just assumed that's what he was going to do. And then he has been doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's more had their finger on the pulse of like modern culture than Tim Heidecker.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, he missed his chance to make a good Jimmy Carter post on Twitter.
I think just deleting the account entirely is really funny.
Yeah.
That's a really funny way to end the bit.
I didn't realize he did that until I checked to see if there's a Jimmy Carter update.
I don't even think it's related. I think it's just a super coincidence.
Yeah, I think he just deleted it because he was mad at Elon or because he's a liberal.
Yeah. But then the did Jimmy Carter die today account got destroyed because he just tweeted it before it happened.
Yeah, he said, "Did Jimmy Carter die today?" No, but he actually did.
And then it was like, community note, yes, and now he's trying to save it by saying he didn't die today.
Yeah, but he did.
That dude's out of a job now.
He is?
Yeah.
As someone said, Jimmy Carter only had to die once. That guy had to be right every single time.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people's posts, I think, missed the mark on this.
Yeah, I don't really know much about Jimmy Carter's presidency to make a real comment.
Yeah.
I do think it's messed up to ignore all of his efforts and work after his presidency to be like, nope, he was a U.S. president, he's going to hell. Because he probably is, but I feel like it's our job to remember the good and not just condemn people to hell.
Yeah, for sure.
What did he do that was... Oh, sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, he was building houses for Habitats for Humanity well into his 90s.
Actually building them, not putting money on it and say he built it.
Yeah, and he was...
Man, was actually working at construction sites.
He's probably the only ex-president to not cash out, post-presidency.
He's also the only president to cash out pre-presidency just in case.
Yes.
Yeah, he got rid of his peanut farm.
His peanut farm, yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. It's nice he fucking built houses and shit for Habitat for Humanity, but I feel like that's just the same kind of shit you would do at your office job for your volunteer day, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he would do it. I feel like he'd do it more than that. I feel like it was more than just like the bare minimum lip service that people do.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, he did that. He said Israel was bad
Yeah, I was gonna
once or
say the first
twice.
thing it
That's
says he did
nice.
post presidency is meet with the Prime Minister of Israel and go on a tour of Egypt, including meeting members of the Palestine Liberation Organization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Carter had been
he
suggested for a
actually,
Northern Ireland peace process.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, and he actually referred to the situation in Palestine as apartheid. But
Yeah,
on the other hand, when he was president, he did sort of, he did negotiate the Camp David Accord. So it's, you
That's
know,
why they did the
yeah.
OPEC strike, right?
He's kind of like an Andrew Wiggin kind of figure, where like he did something horrible and now is just kind of wandering around trying to make up for it.
yeah, and like he kind of did spearhead neoliberalism like before Reagan did.
Well, yeah, that's his biggest issue is he, as commander in chief, didn't do anything meaningful with regard to Israel Palestine, and that's why there was the uh, oil and gas crisis when he was president, right?
I mean, even looking at some of these, his words on Israel are very like neoliberal words, stating his disagreements with Israel's domestic and foreign policy while saying he supported the country. So it's
Yeah.
it is very give and take.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like a little bit less pro-Israel than
He even did the classic Obama thing.
politicians now.
Carter began his first year out of office with a pledge not to critique the Reagan administration, saying it was too early. That's the classic Obama neoliberal move.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we can't talk trash on the Republican guy after me. That's
Yeah, that's unseemly.
yeah,
we must have decorum.
right? Because that's
Yeah.
like Obama and Trump, like nonstop. And Trump, I don't know if he's as bad as Reagan, but I feel like not criticizing Reagan's like that's crazy.
Jimmy Carter does remind me of Biden in a lot of ways, like a hapless neoliberal president who just a lot of just bad things just happened to
Happen while he's
happen.
president.
Yeah, and then
Kind of a lame duck.
maybe we'll see how this goes, but a lot of those things seem to resolve themselves before Reagan took office, like the Iranian hostage crisis and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I think, these things go in cycles. I think Jimmy Carter was the breaking of the wave of the, liberal movement of that time. And then Reagan came along. And, I think the same thing's probably happening with Biden versus Trump, I guess. I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
I can sort of see some parallels. Because Reagan totally like told the Iranians to like keep the hostages until he got into office, and like I feel like Trump like yeah, Biden's like shitty on Israel and Palestine, but like I feel like Trump, with the whole like Miriam Adelson deal that he's got going on, like I think Bibi's gonna try and he's gonna lay off Gaza, I think, when Trump comes back, but then he's just gonna go full force on the West Bank.
I think Trump's been playing a very smart game in that he's almost doing this all very openly and on purpose. Like it's expected that the next president gets to make all the deals. Like because we've pretty much just accepted that there's no president during the election year, and that whoever wins the election is just president.
Yeah.
Immediately after
Especially
winning.
with doo-doo brain Joe Biden in office.
Right. The only time he ever remembered he was president was 2 weeks ago when he pardoned his son.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I think there's a like very real, people talk about the world order. I think there's also a kind of like more right-wing world order, which includes Bibi, which includes Putin, and I think they have a vested interest in seeing that people like Donald Trump, succeed. And so I think they'd be more willing to make a few more compromises with Trump than they would have been with Biden.
yeah, absolutely. They like
Yeah.
the actual Illuminati, which is just the cabal of all the rich people in the world that exists. Because there's rich people, of course they stick together. Uh, it's just all the actual rich people. They love Trump. Absolutely love him. He's good for business.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's two camps of the rich Illuminati. I think there are some that believe in what the Democrats are saying. There are a lot that agree with what the Republicans are saying, and ultimately, both those parties exist to serve the ruling class, and that's what it really comes down to, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's the real crux of both sides are the same.
Yeah.
It's just both sides are only exist as arms of the ruling class to prop them up, legitimize them. Everything else is kind of just what they think is the best way to keep everyone in line, be it through like social breadcrumbs or we're always at war with East Asia, or now there's a chocolate shortage. You know the drill.
Yeah.
It's just weird
Yeah.
to see it happening in real time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what else do I want to say about Jimmy Carter?
Today's probably not going to heaven, but I'm not going to immediately condemn him to
Who
hell.
amongst us is,
Maybe he's going to like one of those like special hells where it's like kind of thematic and appropriate, but then like after like 7 eternities he gets to go to heaven or something.
He's gonna go to peanut farmer hell where like he gets a good amount of peanuts, but when you get like a peanut that tastes a little like acidic for some reason.
Yeah, he's got like bad soil. It's next to a highway. And he's got to like he's got like a fucking like old school tax collector like comes down to like shake him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be greeted by fucking Mr. Peanut himself.
Yeah.
Mr. Peanut's gonna eat his head. Like,
remember that ad campaign where Mr. Peanut died
yeah,
and came back to life?
He rose from his own ashes like a phoenix.
Yeah.
And then they grew him up. They rapidly aged him because no one was vibing with baby Peanut.
Yeah. That's gonna happen to Jimmy Carter.
That's true. That's how he died, actually.
Yeah. He died as like a Super Bowl commercial thing, and then when the Super Bowl comes around, they're gonna be like, "Check it out, guys! It's baby Jimmy Carter."
He died exactly like King Piccolo did. He's got a hole in his chest. He vomits out an egg, and then just dies. And then the egg hatches, and it's like it's Jimmy Carter Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna come out halftime stage on the Super Bowl with fucking Kendrick Lamar, and then he's gonna get in uniform and like score a touchdown for the Chiefs.
Yeah. It's like when Snoop Dogg was like, "I'm giving up smoke, y'all," and then it was actually for a Super Bowl commercial for a smokeless fire pit.
That's right. I can't ever hate that. Like that man is like so shamelessly marketing everything where I'm just like, I love it. Like it was at Walmart and he had his own brand of Christmas decorations called Snoop on the Stoop. But then it was like, but it was a pair combo thing with Martha Stewart still, with Martha on the mantle.
Oh yeah, they have great chemistry.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny that Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart are like homeboys right now.
Yeah.
We had a Yankee swap at work for our Christmas party, and I was pretty jealous. This one dude, he ended up winning like it was a Snoop Dogg cookbook.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
man,
sick. Him and Dr. Dre just came out with a new album, like out of nowhere.
What?
Did they really?
Dr. Dre alive?
Yeah, and I'm like, why? Like, you guys both probably make so much money off
Just being Dr.
endorsements.
Dre.
Like, why even bother making music?
Well, I don't
But
know.
yeah,
I don't really much like Snoop's music, if I'm being honest. After Doggy Style. I guess the only Snoop album I like.
he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't really have too many albums that are like as consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's great on The Chronic, but
Yeah, like I like Snoop, just like yeah, it's like a solo artist carrying a whole album. He's not my favorite.
yeah, yeah, Doggy Style is really the only one I really listen to that much.
But to be fair,
But he has some
if
good
you
ones.
make
He has some other good
you
ones.
make Doggy Style, you are allowed to do whatever you want. I think.
Yeah,
I think that's
Yeah.
a like big enough album. You can just do whatever you want after. I don't even care. 31-year-old ass album.
You're right.
It's really funny that like all this stuff is getting to like middle aged. So it's like
Dogfather's good.
it's fun to like
The
see
one
the
right
like
after that.
rebellious phases that were like from before we were born now like exclusively the domain of like 50-year-olds.
Yeah.
I don't know why it always cracks me up. Dogfather. And then there was Snoop Lion when he was like trying to become like a Rastafarian priest and they got mad at him because that was like sacrilegious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was funny.
That was really funny. They'd be like, well, I guess, no, because even like DMX, he just like preached at the end of all his albums. I don't think he like actually tried to say he was like a pastor or a cardinal.
Yeah,
Like,
he
call
was
me
always
father.
Christian, even though he did very unchristian things.
Just like every-
Nashua, shout out to Nashua resident DMX.
I feel like that is very because it's like it's all about the guilt. That's what they talk about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not about like. It's just, I don't know.
They're like,
Yeah.
I did this thing, but I feel bad for it, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if it was ever okay though. I don't know if you do either.
he said some bad things in his raps. I won't repeat them here.
Well, yeah. Well, like he's very like conflicted on himself. You can tell because he's very on the nose about it in all his albums too.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he thinks he's a good person.
Well, that's what makes him such a good rapper.
Absolutely. That's why I'm always thinking about it.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's one interview where he kept saying he wanted to be a pasture, like the field of grass for grazing,
Yeah.
instead of pastor. So that's fun to think about. Like
He's like you said he wanted to be a pasture.
yeah. And even like
That's funny.
incredible like wordsmiths like DMX can make goofy gaffes.
Yeah.
All right, what the hell are we been talking about now? Jimmy Carter's dead. What else happened this
Jimmy
week?
Carter died. He's never coming back.
He's gone.
Step into the cage and become Jimmy Carter's shade.
Like a steam locomotive rolling down the track.
We talk about Adrian.
Adrian, that's like all I got loaded up. So that's the next. Well, there was a couple things that happened. And I didn't open up the link for one of them. So let's go into the first thing, like the actual relevant thing that happened. Which was the H-1B1 visa thing. Oh, I didn't actually link the article.
Yeah.
Which, so it's Trump in his first term was against these visas. And they're like working visas for like doctors and engineers or something, right? It's not like open visas. They're like the really like exclusive, hard to get ones, like pretty inclusive. So
Is
Trump,
that like the visas that when you like are filling out a job application, it asks like, do you require like sponsorship?
yeah,
Like I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, it's something like that.
And like apparently like it pays like shit and like the whole point of it is that like tech bros will just like continue to like make like massive profits because they won't be paying as much in wages.
Right, because you have these people that you work that you have like that's like your immigration status is tied to your employment basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Which goes about as well as you'd expect it to in America.
Yeah.
So Trump was against these because it's an immigration thing. So it's like, oh, we'll just crack down
Well,
on
he
these visas
was, right?
in the first term.
But now he says he said in a Truth Social post that they're good, right?
Yeah, that was like
Recently.
the conclusion of this, and the continuing of like President Elon Musk.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was against it, but now it's coming up, and like all the like white supremacist Nazi base they've been building up since 2016 was like, yeah, let's also get rid of these. Like, we're gonna keep beating these drums, and then Musk had to be like, whoa, let's be more positive and less racist in the Republican Party now,
Yeah.
which then got, capped with Trump coming out being pro visas, which is also a very Trump thing to just be supportive of whatever the last rich guy you told him to be supportive of.
Right.
Yep.
Which brings us to Adrian Dittman, who's a guy.
Yeah. But wait, before we get into that, so I got some thoughts on.
Oh, okay, I guess we could talk about the actual visa.
So, first thing, I want to take a victory lap against the like STEM bros, in that like they've been saying for years that like, oh, learn to code, learn like computer science, like learn this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And now those are the jobs that, like, you graduate with a computer science degree, like my cousin is, and you can't find shit because, one, there's so many people who
Did
were
that?
told to learn coding or whatever. Two, there's a bunch of like people from, the global south or whatever who know how to do this shit now. And then three, if it's not a remote job like where you're hiring Brazilians, like you can hire an H-1B visa person to do it, like for much cheaper. So I think it's funny that, like, the STEM overlords have been calling, maybe I'm bitter because I'm a humanities graduate, but
I feel you there, man. English major.
yeah, we got an English major and history major, and I feel like I'm doing okay, and meanwhile STEM bros are blown the fuck out, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe in the grand scheme of things that's bad, but yeah.
I think a lot of that is also coming to a head with like this like American thing of like, if you aren't working the highest paid job possible, you're failing in some way. Like, and so any like view of like, oh, these jobs are important goes over a lot of people's heads, because like, oh, who would want to get paid to be a garbage man? Like, baristas aren't a real job, or like doctors, like, oh, like, they own all this debt and they don't get paid much, or like they overcharge the insurance companies and that's why insurance costs so much. There's like all this like negativity towards like working class people in all sets of, no matter like what you're doing or where you're working on, like you're going to be treated like a servant class. I feel like that's kind of where a lot of this is coming from with these visas.
Yeah, and to tie it back to what both you and Charlie were saying, the fact that like these jobs are going to people with visas, it is in a way kind of echoes like the trade policy of the 90s, right? Of basically just people are losing more opportunities, and it's just another way of even the tech bros now have to worry, right? Like it's basically the trajectory that we're going down now is like all working people, no matter what sector they're in, are probably going to be facing some kind of anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's an important point, because I think it goes to show the free market model isn't sufficient to hold up every facet of society we need. We're used to thinking of people who work at Burger King as oh, well, you should have tried harder in high school and did all this and that, yada yada. But now
Yeah.
we're seeing, people with, you know, people who were supposed to be getting the lucrative degree, they can't find a job because they're outcompeted by, whatever. And I mean, there's no way you can have like a what am I trying to think of? There's no way you can have a free market where companies are free to find their most like efficient source of revenue without screwing over the workers at every level.
Right,
So we have to
because
find. This just goes to. This is another thing to show we need to find an alternative.
right, because
Yeah.
with the free market, the thing is that like who it's free for and who it's trying to do good for isn't anyone. Like it's just for the
It's just
capital
owner
owners,
class,
the people,
sure.
wherever the money's going. Like, yeah, it generates all this revenue. Sure, you can hire a skeleton crew and have like 3 people run your Burger King for a week, and that'll make you so much money. But all that money just leaves. It doesn't stay in that Burger King. It doesn't go to the workers. It doesn't go to the consumers. It doesn't stay in that town. It goes off to the other side of the country to wherever the stockholders go. So
Right.
it's not even that like all these people are necessary to make value and that they're so important they have to keep working and that but like, we can't treat them well, we can't pay them well, we can't make sure that they never think they're enough. It's just weird. Like where do they
Yeah.
think this is going?
And I think that's why I think we, especially in America, need to rethink what it means to be part of the ownership class, because it doesn't necessarily mean that you own a business that's successful. It means you are someone who probably makes most of their money off investments in capital markets. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't own a business, you just happen to have enough capital that you can flip it and bounce it.
Right.
And
And most small business owners don't even own anything. They're just like the bank owns all their stuff.
Yeah.
yeah,
And they're
they're the
just like
petty
lying to
bourgeois.
themselves that they own anything. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, like the owner class, like they're basically just people that just move essentially just numbers around. Like that's all that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's different tiers to the ownership class in the United States. Like there's people who own like a car dealership or whatever, and they definitely make more than most people in the country, but they don't make anything compared to someone whose all of their money is in some crazy like holding, family office holding company that just like turns in a bunch of profit off ownership in various hedge funds, mutual funds, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's like a big difference that people don't really realize nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
But,
it's crazy. We're talking about the lottery. The Megadron went up to $1 billion. And everyone's
Yeah.
talking. It's like that's a lot of money, even after taxes. You take the lump sum, whatever, you end up with a couple $100 million. It's a lot of money,
Mhm.
more than anyone would ever need. But like, even if you didn't, you got it all straight up, and we're not accountable for it. It's still 0.25% of that 400 billion they always say Musk is worth.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and,
It's an actual $1
and that's
billion.
because his net worth is tied up in the markets.
Right. Right.
Tesla's value isn't like how many cars they sell; it's how much people think their shares are worth,
Right.
basically.
That's just it, and people use that as like a oh, so he's not actually as rich as you think. When in reality, it almost makes it worse that all the
Yeah.
money's like fake, but it's still he gets to just add it and use it. And
Yeah, he's rich because through fucking bullshit market manipulation bullshit. Like
Yeah.
I'm really bummed he missed out on my Christmas prediction that he didn't make a Merry Xmas post. That was so bad that he got to take
Xmas.
credit for putting the Christ back in Christmas.
Very X.
Yeah, he just can't. He can't make an Xmas joke because he's out like latched himself onto like the weird trad cat space on his own website. So if he said Merry Xmas, like the brand, they would just think he was being like a woke PC loser. Yeah. So he can't even do the most obvious.
People are mad about the H-1B thing, right? Because it's bringing
Americans in to do American jobs, not white, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Because it just makes those jobs cheaper, so they wouldn't pay him anyway. So it's either a visa worker has that job or that job doesn't exist, because that's how this works.
That's how all labor works in this country.
So I don't actually know where this Adrian Dittman comes in. I'm assuming it was just like in the midst of, Elon being slightly less racist than all the Nazis he's aligned himself.
People were mad about Elon because he was like kind of defending the H-1B visa thing because
he made a Tropic Thunder reference.
A lot of his companies rely on such people, but yeah, I mean, whether it's for cheap labor or if the United States or if there's not enough people in America that is sufficient to fill the position, I mean, his companies rely on that, so...
Right, because it lets him outsource cheap labor.
Yeah.
For any number of reasons, it makes it cheaper.
Right. Cheaper, or there's not
less regulation
in the United States currently to fill that position.
That
it's not
could be
necessarily
the case.
Always a cheaper thing.
Yeah, you're right.
But
you're right, especially in the tech sectors. I kind of don't always believe that, but I'll believe it.
Yeah,
it has to happen. Like, it's not an infinite people in the US.
Most of the time, it's to find someone who would work for cheap. But yeah, so he was pro H-1B visa, and then people were really jumping on him about that on Twitter, right? Because he's cultivated that base of ultra right people.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So I think in the midst of all this Twitter stuff, it was either like in a space, like in a chat, where like he started talking to himself, or like people just noticed this guy just is Elon Musk, because it's not even the first time he's done this. Like, Elon's always making fake accounts, like that one where he pretended to be like a child.
Yeah, Elon Musk children.
Yeah, it was.
He pretended to be a child.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't even remember what the whole thing was.
It was
I can
like
remember
AI pictures of Elon as a child, and it would be like, "What do you think this child would?"
No. Like there was like a different account that was like just Elon Musk, where he would just log into it and roleplay as if he was like a 6-year-old girl with people. Like, not like him roleplay, but like he would be pretending to be like a small child on Twitter. I think it was around the same time as the Elon babies, but I don't think it was related to the AI Elon babies.
Oh, maybe I don't know that one then.
I mean, that was it. It was just that.
He's so fucking awkward.
So yeah, it's just this guy. He just like, every time he talks or says anything, he just sounds exactly like Elon. So this is
Adrian Dittman.
Yeah, Adrian Dittman.
I can't
We'll
honestly.
play some audio of him.
Yeah, that's a theory. That's a theory.
We'll let you guys judge.
People think I'm legitimately your clone. There's been theories that I'm one of your Neuralink experiments. Can you clarify that I'm not one of your Neuralink experiments? Or maybe I am and I wouldn't realize it? Because that shit's vast.
Maybe on the stream they can hear.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know how Discord works for that.
We've heard it before.
Yeah, whatever. It's Elon. If you haven't heard it, it sounds like Elon with the voice filter.
I think that this is the way we should go.
Yeah.
It's
But it's either him like reading a script, like it's scripted to like try to hide verbal tics, or it's like maybe it's like an AI like voice, so like it's like a
I think he
Microsoft
just
Sam with
talks
him.
like that. Like he has a very like staggered manner of speaking.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys think that Elon Musk is bad, but actually he's really good. And everyone's like, who is this guy?
Yeah, there's like one point where he's like, and he works really hard, like so
Yeah.
hard. Therefore, it's okay that he does ketamine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like,
it's just
"Well,
him.
not like
He also
when-
has
that's when
tweets where
he-
he's like, the Adrian Dittman's like, oh, you guys should really get into classical music. Try getting like listening to stuff by Mozart or Bach or Rachmaninoff or like just like he Googled like most famous composers and just was like, you guys, you should really get into this.
Have you heard of this guy Beethoven?
Yeah.
He's totally dope.
Which is how he like talks about every other pop culture, where it's like the surface level nonsense. Like even Diablo 4, where he's like, I'm number one on the leaderboards, as if he heard that like Diablo is leaderboards and knows that that's good and needs to be it.
Yeah.
It's like how he founded Tesla.
Yeah, he's not really a dude who comes up with his own. I mean, even in his businesses, like, he doesn't come up with his own ideas. Like, he got into PayPal.
Yeah, but that's how we
mad
know.
late.
That's how we know that X is his idea, because it's one, awful, and two, that's why he got fired from PayPal, because he wanted them to be called X the everything.
Yeah, he wanted to change that to X, and they're like, dude, that's a fucking stupid name.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. And like, it was the same reasons why people think Twitter turning to X is stupid, because one, it sounds like a porn site, two, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, just a stupid generic name,
Right?
X.
He even picked like just a font. Like, he didn't even design the X.
And it ruined
It's-
all the like brand recognition that already existed.
My favorite thing now still is when you send Twitter videos to each other, like the link is just xvideos.com.
Yeah.
X.videos.
I feel like I've heard that URL before.
Yeah, this was the account that was Elon pretending to be a kid. That's what I've thrown up. It's like, Grimes left the king of SpaceX. Her kids must hate her. They want to spend all their time with Mr. Tesla.
That's so pathetic.
Yeah, we're just like, it feels like we were in a nightclub and the lights just turned on. What nightclub were you at? I wish I was old enough to go to nightclubs. They sound so fun.
The world's richest man, everybody.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, I saw another.
Honestly,
post
that's
was-
what I would expect from the world's richest man. Just like weird that stuff.
Yes,
Whatever.
what a genius. You know, he's the pinnacle of humanity.
I mean, if I was the world's richest man, I would definitely stop posting.
I would probably also be doing ketamine and doing weird shit. Like he's not wrong.
I would just be riding around on my jet ski all day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I imagine rich people do. Is just like have tons of.
Well,
jet
we were
skis.
talking about the like tiers of rich people in the owner class. There's definitely like
Right.
the jet ski class, and we don't hear about them much because they're just minding their own business on their jet skis.
Yeah.
They're not like
Yeah.
buying Twitter to make everyone look at them.
Yeah. But
To be fair, if people had as much like power as Elon Musk has as just like a random private citizen guy,
I think the problem with Elon Musk is he doesn't have his own ideas. Like he just likes memes and internet culture, and he got sucked into like the dumbass, right wing memes, and
yeah,
he can't get out, and he's discovering that now the real racists have shown up, and like he's like that meme where he's like shook. You know what I'm saying?
how fake racists look when real bigots come at them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a Brianna Wu thing was like, and they're being mean to trans people, and they were like, no, trans people are fake. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Leopards are eating faces, and it's I don't know. I'm concerned. Some people are laughing, but I'm concerned at how powerful the most extreme side of this all seems to be. Still.
I was thinking about this because so Ian Miles Chong has been caught up in all this. You know, the
He always
Malaysian
is.
guy who's never been to the U.S., but he loves talking about U.S. politics.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's like, guys, like, it's not all about white people. And they're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, now that he's not 100% on board, they're just like you. They're just, I mean, they're being racist because he's Malaysian.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so he's coined the term, and I've been thinking about this a lot. He's coined the term the woke right.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen this?
No.
So the woke right is supposed to be like the ultra right, racist, ultra, you know, ultra right instead of, you know, the regular right who just like hates woke stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I guess to that definition, like the woke right would be against the H-1B visa people, and then the regular right just wouldn't want, you know, black women in video games or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they think the black pilots are what's causing all the Boeing planes to blow up.
Yeah. So it had me thinking, like, who do
He's
you
like,
think?
you're not the right kind of racist.
Yeah. but it had me thinking, like, who? So you run into your standard like reactionary townie or whatever. Like, who do you think they're more likely to agree with? Like Ian Miles Chong's woke right, or the regular anti-woke video game right? Like, you know what I mean? Like look what these people have made their bed with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. So
Gamergate 2.0 somehow being involved with all this is still like just absolutely wild.
yeah.
They say Twitter's not real. Twitter's 100% real.
Twitter's real. You know, just
Twitter's
like how
real life.
4chan has been the most influential political website, and people still don't know what it is.
That's right. I don't think I've ever denied that 4chan's 100% real life.
Yeah.
There's such like a honesty to the just straight nonsense you see posted there that and that's I think why everyone keeps coming back. Cause like, yeah, people are trying to be edgy on purpose, but it's in a way where like they're not trying to be edgy on purpose. They're just kind of being their own cringe self.
Yeah.
It's like weird. The mask of Anonymous has unmasked everyone on 4chan.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the most fringe things that happened on 4chan, like QAnon. Like, that's just the Republican Party platform now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like somehow I see more nuanced debates on like interracial couples on like 4chan threads than you see on like mainstream news or Twitter.
Right.
Not more intelligent, but more nuanced.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy out there.
Yeah, going back to what Charlie was saying about Ian Miles Chong about like how the racists were like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like that reminds me of when Vivek Ramaswamy was like, man, I was surprised to see how many racists were in the Republican Party. Like, yeah, no shit, dude.
It's a Big Ten.
Well, there's so many people who like want to be the token whatever of the right. Like, just look how they turned on that bitch Candace Owens, Vivek, and now Ian Miles. Yeah, I like to call him Ian Miles wrong because he ends up being wrong about everything. but yeah, it just shows that.
As with everything else,
This
there
is
is
a tenable, like, political stance. Like, this is one based off just reaction and, you know, racism, basically, at the very bottom of it.
General white race savior. You're brown.
You're
I can't get it
to
to
be
fucking
like the token Malaysian of the racism movement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's really funny. They always want to try. It's like It's exactly like William H. Macy, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
Yeah. He was the token human trying to get in bed with the apes.
Yeah, and he couldn't work. I mean, the apes didn't betray him, but we don't know they weren't going to. Proximus was shifty. But he still got his. It never ends well.
I mean, it all comes back to Planet of the Apes.
I mean, he was right.
We found through all these episodes that we're doing this show.
All roads lead to Planet of the Apes.
That's right. It's definitely not because I watched all of them this year. I just think about Planet of the Apes all the time now. Planet of Shrimp. If you're thinking about Planet of the Apes all the time.
You know, you're thinking about the planet, or you're thinking about apes. Then all of a sudden, Planet of the Apes.
Apes never change. Apes never changes.
Yeah. Apes.
Apes never changes.
What's it
I don't have the article up.
Something else on this. I don't know. I don't remember.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring up something completely unrelated
Okay.
that I forgot happened. It's not completely unrelated.
People are just lucky that we're doing this episode today, because every other podcast is like, oh, we'll see you guys next year, like on December 15th. You know what I'm saying? So
we've had
going right to the end.
This has been
so if this is an unhinged episode, like,
no, this has been good. Talk about Jimmy Carter for like 20 minutes.
Okay. As long as you think it's good.
I mean, I don't know what else. What else is there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Should we talk about anti-Semitic prostate cancer?
Oh yeah, Netanyahu has prostate cancer. We had 2 guys die in the woods looking for Sasquatch in Oregon. That's what I was going to pivot to.
I saw the headline of this. I didn't read the article.
That's where I'm at too. Let's find out together.
So let's get into it.
The bodies of the men 37 and 59 were discovered after a 3-day search through Gifford Pincote National Forest. There's no way I'm saying that right. Pinchot. According to the Skamania County Sheriff's Office, exposure appeared to be the cause of both deaths. The sheriff said in a statement.
Skamania?
Yes, it's literally the Skamania.
This is in the Pacific Northwest, and it's Skamania.
That's right. It's ska country up in here. It's
very unserious. But go on.
I mean,
yeah. As soon as you enter, did you just hear ba 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 ba?
Bigfoot's just sitting in the woods. Sell out with me tonight. Sell out. That's all. I mean, that's all I got. Now I have no more. They just died.
How did they die?
Exposure. They were just around the woods.
Exposure to
the elements.
So
it's like hypothermia, weather, wind. Yeah, I don't think they really know. They
were looking for Bigfoot.
Dude,
yeah, noting the men seemed unprepared for the brutally cold weather. They're not identified. They're just from Portland.
I'm thinking I think they found Bigfoot. And Bigfoot.
Wait, if they don't know who they are, how do they know they were looking for Bigfoot?
Were they members of some kind of like Bigfoot research society?
I don't know. We're gonna have to keep clicking articles. Maybe someone knows more about these guys. It's like
they died.
You don't know who they are. They're from Portland, but like, why? Do they just assume they were in Bigfoot because they were in the woods there? Can you just like kill someone in the woods and then just say Bigfoot got them?
Say, oh, they died because they were Bigfoot hunters.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, they fine you $1,000 if you harm Sasquatch in Skamania country. That's crazy.
They also fine you $1,000 if you're wearing those Vans, like without laces that aren't checkered or whatever, you know.
If you don't stop and watch the ska band lady on Twitter every time the video comes up, they fine you $1,000.
If you never had to knock on wood, and I'm sure someone who has, but I'm sure it isn't good. That's the impression that I do not go.
3 days to find him? That's crazy. Oh, the names of the men have not been released. They might know
I'm
who they
really
are, though.
trying to like find an angle where Bigfoot killed them, but it does kind of sound like they just went in the woods and died.
I was thinking more like...
Find something. Find an article where it says like there were mysterious tears in their tent.
So here's my. You ready for the big crackpot theory? So Portland right now is famous for having a homeless problem, right? So I think they're just disposed. I think they're just disappearing homeless people from Portland. They're saying like, oh, they just went to go find Bigfoot.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, that does sound pretty legit.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
That's
So
what I think happened.
So it's not that Bigfoot killed them. It's not that they were hunting for Bigfoot. It's that these were homeless people that got killed.
Yeah, and they were using Bigfoot to cover it up.
Sheriff's Department.
That's right. They were anti-Goldfinger.
Because they're trying to reduce homeless population. Okay.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Because I mean, the state, they're gonna throw them in prison. They're gonna do something with these people, but like, that's like a whole thing. And like the Pacific Northwest specifically is like a drain pipe for it.
Yeah.
Anyone who wanders kind of just ends up here for whatever reason.
That's kind of how it is with Portland, Maine. Like they either end up in Portland, Oregon, or Portland, Maine.
Maybe it's just like the coasts. Like you just gotta, when you become like transient, you just start wandering towards the ocean.
Yeah. Like you're gonna end up at one end or the other when you're at the bottom. Right.
Meanwhile, poor Bigfoot, he gets scapegoated for yet another.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're using Bigfoot for evil, until we find proof that they were just like beef road or logged or something. They just aren't wanting to like panic people or I don't know. But it was crazy that it took them 3 days to find it. They just didn't find anyone. They found the bodies. And also a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Well, Bigfoot eats berries too, so
He eats babies.
he
whatever a bear would eat.
He eats babies. Yeah, he eats whatever a bear would eat. And just did we talk about that last time?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be the world's first communist Bigfoot. I mean, yeah, it does suck. I was trying to think of like a me and who joke to make on Twitter about it, but it's like two guys found dead in the woods looking for Bigfoot, like me and who. I guess that's funny. I mean, it's not funny. Oh yeah, so H-1B1 visas, that a lot of Adrian Dittman.
What is the next
Netanyahu has prostate cancer. He successfully had his prostate removed. You can do that?
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that.
His prostate was anti-Semitic.
I thought I was going to say to have like a tumor removed or his prostate cancer removed, but you can just remove the whole prostate?
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't either.
What does the prostate actually do aside from give you anal orgasms?
I thought it like regulated like the flows down there.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with your pee.
Yeah. I thought it was
why would you need to regulate the flow? Why don't you just
because it's like I thought it was like the I don't know anything about bio. I thought it was the thing that because there's two liquids we shoot out down there. I thought the prostate like helped figure out which one you're doing at the time. Like when you're getting ready to do one, it like shuts down the other, so like you don't pee.
I mean,
instead.
you might as well do them both at the same time.
Look, man, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, crop streams.
Right?
Yeah, we're in this for contemporary political goings on, not anatomy. This is what happens when we let theater kids ruin our health class. We didn't find out what the prostate does.
Yeah, I don't know what it does.
Miss Kritsky was supposed to teach us, but she was too busy.
She's too busy, like, talking about what kind of, like, song she'd listen to if she was, like, a baseball player.
Too busy saying that Refugee by Tom Petty doesn't really capture the spirit of domestic abuse.
Yeah, she was like, this is something I'd listen to if I was doing drugs.
You're doing drugs to distract you about fucking domestic abuse.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Well, okay, 2025. What do you think's happening next year? Just anything. What things do you think are happening next year?
I think,
Like events, non-events.
Jesus Christ. I don't think anything's gonna really happen, but like, we're gonna look back and be like, holy shit, things happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not like right. I don't think it's going to be more of like right now. Right now, I feel like everything's happening all the time, and we're all kind of aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like next year, because like the new president will come in and people will be like, "Oh well, time to go back to sleep for 4 years."
I think people will realize that the right is like lame. Like, I think this whole like conservatism is the new punk rock is gonna get old.
Do you think the like
Yeah.
IT, like high violence, edgy white supremacists are gonna want to keep being associated with the fucking Department of Government Efficiency, Doge meme agency?
No.
Like something's gonna give there. It's gonna be like Breaking Bad when he brought the Nazis in at the end. Like it's not gonna end well.
Yeah.
That's actually exactly what this was.
Yeah, I think this is the beginning of it, like the revolt against Elon and Vivek. You know, I think they're like the real writers are gonna just do their thing, and then like, you know, the right wing is like
Do you
a
think that's
popular movement.
do you think that's JD Vance's angle for 2028?
I think so. I think that's
Do you think
low-key
he's
why
do you
a
think he's
smart
gonna
pick,
try to
is
like
because I think he represents that actual right movement.
yeah,
You know,
for sure.
he's the turbo racist. He's the turbo racist pick.
Yeah. He's the ultra Hitler that everyone's booing mega Hitler right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for sure shit's gonna get way worse in Palestine, which is gonna be awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think domestically, like, yeah, like I think the right wing civil war is just gonna implode, and yeah,
I think it's gonna implode in the same way like the Tea Party imploded, where everyone just says it did, but the actual like vibe of continuity doesn't feel any different. Like it's just they're gonna like swap some like figureheads around and change some names, but I don't think anything's really gonna change.
No.
I can't really see like anybody else like taking the reins from Trump though.
Yeah.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, that's I think is very interesting is to see how this movement carries forward now that Trump can't run again. Like, 'cause that's all he did his first term was campaign for his next election.
Yeah.
Like, what is a Trump who can't like isn't campaigning? What's that gonna look like?
He's gonna look like a loser.
You think he's gonna do something dumb and like run for Senate?
Yeah. I could see 2025 at least being the beginning of the death of like our modern populist movement, because there's no like there's no real Bernie Sanders waiting in the wing. There's no like Trump that's up next who people are excited about. Like, we're gonna have to pick between,
Because it's also like,
you know, whomever for 2028. You know, some boring Democrat and some boring Republican.
God, I hope it's not fucking Mayo Pete.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Mayo Pete versus
like like I hate Pete, but people respond positively to him almost by design. It is by design because he's a fucking robot. But
didn't like when you were canvassing for Bernie, Mike, like some old guy who loved Mayo Pete, like he was like, come in, sit down. Let me talk to you about how we should vote for Mayo Pete.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's like, oh, you people are already here, but come on, let's have a discussion. I'm like, I'm all set, man.
did you say that you have actual
I'm
evidence
Bernie, bro.
of the CIA tube that Pete hatched from?
Yeah.
Like that's what
Yeah,
they're doing.
he worked for McKinsey.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they're growing in Roswell. It's just like politicians like fucking JD Vance and Mayor Pete.
Maybe like low key, our hope as like left leaning people is to get like a celebrity. Are there any like left wing celebrities that we could like put in as the Democratic nominee or something? Like maybe
Yeah,
Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. That'd be sick.
That'd be dope.
He went to
Yeah,
Harvard.
Kyle Kalinske was floating that idea. He was really big on like drafting Jon Stewart. I think he could probably do well.
Yeah.
Too.
Is Jon Stewart a left wing guy? Like I know he's more liberal than people. Is he a liberal or is he like actual left?
It's hard to tell. Because like
yeah,
he's very good speaker, a powerful speaker, but like most of the actual issues he's championed are things like veterans benefits and like first responder cares and
yeah,
there's like a lot of
kind of like I get it,
right, like it's all very
also
great
kinda,
causes,
like,
and I'm really glad he's fighting for it. But yeah, it doesn't really tell us what he thinks about like workers' rights and foreign policy or capitalism or like infrastructure reform.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like low key, like the next presidential election cycle is gonna be 2 celebrities win. Like it's gonna be like Aaron Rodgers gets the Republican nominee, and then
My God, do you think it's gonna be like The Rock is gonna end up getting to like the primary debate and then have to drop out when no one's responding to 2028 The Rock?
yeah, I don't know.
Because he's always wanted to do that for the conservative side, but
it does sort of seem like a celebrity is really our only hope because like we keep our people fucking uneducated and like
yeah, but our celebrities are like releasing Imagine videos during the pandemic talk.
Yeah. But also, like, it's not like politicians are any better than celebrities, you know?
No,
like,
they really are. Especially now that we have like people
Like,
who
I'd
are
rather
going
have
into
Adrian
politics
Brody
to
be the
become celebrities. You know what I mean? People like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, where
Yeah.
like they're only politicians to get that attention. Like, so yeah,
Right, they're
I
just
agree.
as dumb as anything else.
Fucking Adrian Brody for president. Let's go.
Yeah, man. He's
He'd
Oscar
be sick as
I-
president.
He would be. You imagine that 48. It's just Adrian Brody in a suit,
That would be awesome.
thick as hell.
I would love that. Just off aesthetic. Maybe,
I think the only like leftist celebrity I can think of off the top of my head, like in reality, is like Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, Brendan DeVito, that'd be fucking
Yeah,
sick.
because he's very. Every time he talks about politics, it's like super pro union. Like he's actually at like a picket line or something.
Susan Sarandon's pretty dope too.
Oh yeah, Susan Sarandon.
Oh, yeah,
is-
yeah.
You know she's a real
hot,
leftist
too.
because everyone just gets
she's
mad
like
at her on
fucking
Twitter all day.
Canadian, she can still get it.
Yeah,
She's got
his
some jugs.
her son's on Twitter, and he always gets really mad. Stop talking about my mom that way. It's just like, well, your mom's Susan Sarandon. She's hot, so get over it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Tom, we got some good people. Tom Morello, Danny DeVito, Susan Sarandon,
That's the dream cabinet.
Adrian Brody. Who?
Wasn't
Doja Cat?
Doja Cat?
Doja Cat's like racist,
Cat?
right?
I don't know. Is
I
she?
don't know.
She was on racial chat room showing feet, remember?
Does that disqualify you though? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
She had a Sam Hyde shirt. And she's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know who Sam Hyde was." I'm like, "Bitch, you know who Sam Hyde is."
I actually don't know. I don't know. That's like my biggest thing where I'm probably racist, because like it's like Doja Cat, Ice Spice, Iggy Azalea. I don't know. They're all the same person to me.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that all their music kind of sounds the same. Does it? I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, man.
Ice Spice has like a cool like drill thing going. I was like rooting for her for a bit.
I was too. I didn't mind that she made a lot of fart lyrics.
She made a lot of like fart, poop, and butt puns.
Yeah, I feel like that's okay.
You ain't even the fart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
And then Iggy Azalea wasn't really good at rapping. She just had like a big, just fluffy ass.
To be fair, I only know her from that one song they played up the speakers. It was like Fancy.
Yeah. And then Doja
had
cool like pop rap songs. Like I respect Doja and Ice Spice for some of her songs as musicians, but Iggy Azalea was just not good. She was not good.
That sounds about right.
Else. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, who could beat Aaron Rodgers in the 2028 presidential election? I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be Mayor Pete. Like it's just gonna be. It's just gonna be like Pete, and they're gonna like
think beyond Mayor Pete, man.
They're gonna like resurrect the most like boring white bread guy ever to be his vice president.
Mayor Pete and
they're gonna get like another guy named Pete, and they're gonna be like Pete and Pete 2028. No one's gonna get it because who the fuck knows what Pete and Pete is?
Mayo Pete and his running mate. Oh fuck! What was that guy's name from Texas?
Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah, Beto O'Rourke.
Bet on my stork.
Look at Beto. I didn't mind him.
Dude, he sucked.
He was so
Yeah, but
like he did that like fucking like stump speech where he like stood on that table like a diner.
Yeah, he like jumped up on the diner. He's like, "I'm tired of these fucking school shootings." And everyone's like, "Yeah."
I'd rather, I don't know. He just seems less lab grown, more just like a.
Well, his dad was a fucking judge or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got enough money to run for office. They're all gonna have fucking something.
Nah, he's a loser.
Yeah.
We need someone cool. We need like Serge Tankian from System of a Down or something.
That'd be sick.
That would be awesome. But I think he was born in Armenia or whatever. So
can you not be vice president? Because like you could be.
You need to be eligible to be president of the United States.
Vice president.
Vice president, whatever that means.
Remember when they were going to make Elon Musk Speaker of the House for like 2 days?
Yeah, well, they still could.
Yeah, well, what happens if he's Speaker?
Well, then Mike Johnson's speakership is in jeopardy because Elon Musk thought it would be cool to.
Yeah, but what happens if Musk is Speaker and then like Air Force 1 and 2 like explode because they were made by Boeing?
That's true, yeah, because he's not born in the United States, so he's not. I don't know.
That'd be the funniest presidency of all time. Like, if he was like actually president, like actually had to do stuff.
I feel like if someone who like was born outside of the United States like actually won the presidency, like they would probably get rid of that. Like they would find a way to get rid of that.
At this point, I think everyone in the world, like anyone, should be able to run for president.
Yeah.
Like, who cares if like a fucking Chinese guy wins every year because they have more people than us? That doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah, fuck
just yeah,
Right.
like that's how we transition into the Futurama Earth-based America.
You guys think Cenk Uygur will run again?
I can't believe I used to listen to that shit. That's
Yeah.
stupid. No.
There's one guy on Twitter like always posts like pro Saint things. And, like I can't tell if it's like he's being ironic or not. 'Cause, like, it kind of seems like it's ironic, but like I also don't know anything about him to know. I don't know.
Did you guys see that video of him at the Turning Point USA conference?
No.
Oh my god, it was pretty funny.
Oh,
Like he was
okay.
trying to be like, yeah, you guys think that trans people should have equal rights, right? And they're all like, no. It's like, dude, you're not gonna push people over. Like, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Yeah, his like co-host, that woman is always like flirting with, just going right wing, I guess.
Yeah, Anna Kasparian.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's always like, I fucking hate homeless people.
Yeah.
They're like, what? How are you on the what?
Well, I mean, that's like, that just goes to show
That's like
how
that's like a moderate American left like
yeah
position is to
Well,
not
that's the
like
thing,
homeless
their,
people.
their show never was like a left wing, critique of American politics. It was like this imaginary subcategory of like progressive or liberal, which we like know now that it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like an incongruous, view of politics.
Yeah, because it's just people being in denial that like they're more right wing than like they'd like to admit, or more conservative than they like to admit, or more conservative than they're comfortable admitting to strangers who might not like that.
Yeah.
And so like we have all these like weird soft terms that kind of put you vaguely somewhere and whatever.
Yeah.
Because no one really thinks about it that hard, so it's kind of hard to like sort people into things. Like they're not even trying to sort themselves. People just have a lot of vibes on how they think about a lot of issues and don't really go further than that.
Yeah, we talk about all the time how most people's view of American politics is a grab bag anyway, So,
Right.
I don't know.
Right, because it's all just about like how they react to different things. So it's like how would you like it if you were in this situation or this or that? And there's no like big picture like you should just be kind to people by default, kind of go from there.
Yeah. No one wants to subscribe to a theory because that means you're not thinking for yourself, man.
Yeah. And then the whole like hyper individuality. Everyone's like, America, you're free, and that means you're free to consent to corporate wage slavery or something.
Yeah.
You're free to sign the contract on this form that's totally not taxes. And that's what makes it better? I don't know. I always say I don't know. Fucking people are weird. Politics are weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why we don't just seize the means of productions. Why doesn't the working class, the largest of the classes, not simply eat the other classes? Just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Is there anything else? Any closing thoughts for the year?
Do we want to talk about 2024? What do you think about this year? Do you think it was good or bad? Probably bad, right?
I mean, like most things, kind of a grab bag. Yeah, it's like there's some good stuff. A lot of good movies came out. A lot of good games came out. Good TV, but the personal life wasn't the best.
Some good movies came out, I think. The genocide was bad. That was probably bad.
Yeah, it was definitely bad. There was an election this year.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, it really
I
was.
think.
It was a bad election.
Yeah.
Not even like because of who won, just like both sides played a really bad game. You know what I mean?
And neither
Like when you,
side, like both sides are just gonna learn the wrong lessons.
it's like if you turn on the Super Bowl and it was like, it's like no one was trying.
Yeah.
And it's just like fucking like watching the Pats lose to the Giants that losing their dynasty.
Right.
Like-
See, apparently Biden just came out and he was like, "I would have won 2024."
He would not have beaten
Like,
Trump. I don't think.
Like, okay, dude.
I don't think he was
You
beating
only
Trump.
showed that you were gonna lose like 400 electoral
You were
votes.
literally
He lost it. If he had quit early, we could have done
a primary.
a primary where we picked someone who wasn't, wine mom Kamala Harris.
I still don't even think. Well, I mean, she was the bad pick, as we saw now. But like, I think they could have. There is a scenario in which they like ran a campaign that won her there. I feel like we saw an alternate timeline. Like, it could have happened, but I forgot we have neo-libs in charge. They don't do anything good. Like, what should we do?
I mean, I don't know
what if
who-
we?
like we said, we don't know who like actually left wing would have been able to jump in.
Right.
Like
Right,
the
'cause, like,
best
she
we
just
could've
had to-
got was
she had to-
Gretchen.
She had to use the tool she
Whitmer.
had, and the tool she had at her disposal at that point was being a cop and like all of Hillary's campaign staff just on hand because I don't know why. And all that
Yeah.
money, I guess they paid to Beyonce.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, but who even would have won in a primary? I guess Bernie Sanders, if he just like came in
I
swinging.
feel like either Gretchen Whitmer or Gruesome Gavin, maybe, or J.B. Pritzker, the Baron,
Yeah,
Maybe,
Baron Pritzker.
I think Tim Walz was spitting some fire for a bit.
I think.
He might have done well.
Yeah,
He was cool.
he
Yeah,
was
I
really
liked him.
cool until he got like a memo from HR for being too cool. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that debate they did with JD Vance was just bad.
It's like just calling him weird. That's it. That's all you got to do. It was perfect. All you had to be is like,
Yeah.
oh, they're crazy, and then just like talk about his like Minnesota tractor or whatever.
You're like, oh wait, he's right. They are weird.
Yeah.
But then Dick Cheney
Yeah,
endorsed them, and they were like, oh, we can't call the Republicans weird. We are Republicans.
We need them. Yeah.
We are Republicans. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I don't know.
So I
Boom.
know we did the game awards, but what was your guys' personal game of the year?
It's always hard to tell, 'cause, like-
well,
like-
it depends if you count Elden Ring DLC as the game of the year.
I do. I
That shit
100%.
banged.
I 100%.
We'll allow it.
I always allow. I'm always pro DLC because a good DLC or expansion really should change and recontextualize the whole game in some way. I feel like it. That counts.
Yeah, and if not that, I would say Helldivers too. That game rocked.
If we're going by Steam replay playtime, then it's Factorio. Even though I didn't play the DLC that it came out this year, because it came out like 2 months after I stopped fixating on Factorio, so I just haven't bought it yet. But oh boy, once I do, that's another like 3,000 hours of my life gone. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. Yeah, mine's probably Metaphor ReFantasio.
Yeah, that's a good one. Dragon Age is really good.
The Trans Dragon Age.
Yeah, only played like half of it, but it's fun. It's
Did
really
you
fun.
play as a trans person?
No, I don't. No,
Oh.
but you can.
I think you can.
There's like a
trans
lot.
Person.
Oh,
You can have like top surgery scars and
yeah,
stuff.
and there's
which
like
is cool.
you can like I think a lot of like there's just it's just in there because it's a lot about like identity and like who these characters are, but like It's like you talk to like that about your companions a lot, not like necessarily a gender thing.
Heard the combat was pretty fun.
Yeah, I like it way more than 2 and Inquisition combat. Yeah, it's really fun. You get Vincent Price as a companion. You should get Scooby Doo, Vincent Price.
Vincent Price.
So that's really cool.
That's all.
And yeah, a lot of it just feels like they basically just like took Mass Effect like 2 and just like slapped different paint on it and called it a day. But like in a good way. Yeah, go play Dragon Age. It's fun.
There's a cat on here. Oh, where you going?
I think it's really cool we're getting like more janky, smaller scale Western RPGs. Not everything's trying to be like this massive, bloated mess of whatever.
Yeah.
Even though it sounds like
Yeah,
that's
I
what
like
Dragon
it.
Age was until they like scraped it and salvaged it together into what we got. But like, it doesn't feel like a game that was like shifted at the last second, like sometimes they do.
Yeah, I feel like way too many like open world games just feel empty. You know, they're like, you got this whole space to play with. I'm like, yeah, but there's nothing in it. So I like how I like how there's this bigger trend of games just sort of dialing a little bit back in scale, but
Yeah, I agree.
you know, making a more meaty experience in the end.
Yeah, and that's why Todd Howard's undefeated in making an open world game.
Yes.
All right, do we have anything to say more about current events, or what do you guys think?
I mean, I don't know. I think according to current events, well, we had a very calm, like 45-second talk about Dragon Age. It makes us the most rational video gamers in history.
Yeah.
Gamergate 2.0 is not doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I can't think of any other current stories right now.
Yeah, that was it. That's
Well,
our
like
show.
I said earlier, people should be glad that we're, potting the day before New Year's. So,
Well, I gotta work tomorrow, and that's not gonna be fun.
yeah, me too.
Or two.
I gotta figure out how to tie a tie. I don't know how to tie a tie.
I just know how to do it on instinct now. I couldn't tell you how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
It's like tying
that
your
seems about right.
shoes.
Oh well. That's our show, everyone. We'll see you all in the next year, 2025.